I am Professor L.B.Gayakawad. Today I have come in front of you by taking a new video. The subject of the video is We and Children. Remember, today we are discussing on the life of the children. It means that the children become the youngsters and then they behave as per their own minds. This thing has become very much dangerous for the society as well as for the parents. So this subject should be discussed by me, or there should be the discussion on this subject. That's why I have taken this subject. How you feel this subject? Please tell your opinions in the comment box. With this, I will start now. At first, we will discuss child and family. So remember here, the definition of a child is very different. The child comes from God and the child behaves with us in the family. The child is not the property of the family. And family is there. The family is made of people. There are 2 or 3 members, 4 members, 5 members. And those members are affected by the rules and regulations of the society. So this family, we can say, is not as per the commands of God, but the child which comes to the earth, it comes with the commands of God. That is the explanation I will say according to me. So my point is, what is child? So I told you. What is family? I told you. Means the family is affected by the selfishness. The family is affected by the, I will say, by the politics and by everything. Means all the members are rather bad-minded, and that's why the family is like, I will say, like the filmy style. Means there are many habits, all that is there with the family members, and that's why the child runs in this way with these members in the family. I will tell you that the child is the new slate, that is the empty slate, that is the empty minded, that is the body, and nothing is written and spoken on that slate, means on the body of that child. That is the situation of the child. When we send that child to the education, or when we send that child, or when we admit that child in the schools, then what happens? The teaching effects, I will say, come upon that child. The behavior of the teachers makes effect on that child, and in this way that child comes into the rules and regulations of the society, and all the rules and regulations of the teachers, family members are really very, very different. And in those rules, the child is confused at first. Remember, many times the child is confused. You can experience in your family also that many times the child asks different questions to parents, and the parents are also confused, or the parents are also answerless to give the answers of those questions of the child. So remember, the child has come from heaven. The child has come from God. That is the new slate. That is the empty slate. And on that empty slate, we people write, we people speak on it. And that's why the child named slate is confused always. In this confusion, that child runs with us, and that child does not know what is happening with me or with her or with him. That is the main important point which I will discuss in front of you. When that child is in the school, the behavior of the teachers, the behavior of the students, other students, the girl students, the boy students. Then when that child comes into the family, then parents' behavior in the home, all these things affect on the character of the children, of that child, character of that child. And that's why what happens, the children are very much confused by the situation in which they run, in which they walk, in which they sleep. There are many questions in their minds which are answerless because there is no parent, who will give the right answer of the child. And that's why these children are always confused without answers, and because they want to do something, they want to do something for their life, or they want to do something for their own world. They want to create that world. But actually, we people do not think of their world, and we put our world upon them, and that always happens. And that's why here I will tell you that always these children are confused. That is the main point. And in this way, the empty slate of that child is filled up with our own behaviors, with our own psychology. All these things affect on that child, or on all the children's there I will say, which are around us. That is the main point. The main point is again is that the child, we understand that the child is the heir. Heir means, I will say, HEIR, heir. That is the property. That is the heir of our family. That's why it is the thought of the family member that this child should be brought up as per the rules and regulations of the family, because it is the heir of the family. And that's why we turn that child to our principles. Means we do not think of the mind of that child. We do not think of the rules and regulations of that child. We do not think the childhood of the child, and we turn that child to our own principles, and that thing is really very bad on the part of us, and always that thing makes the bad effect on the character of the children. But nobody understands this, because we know that this is my child, and I will give the culture to this child as per my own mind. Means we are always behind the culture. So my point is that culture is there, but what is the culture that we want to make him learn? The culture easily can be learned by the child. We cannot put deliberately, or we cannot put with force that culture uh, upon that child. That is the main point which I want to discuss. But as the heir of the family property, we put our own culture upon the child, and that thing also becomes very much, I will say, without justice for that child, and that child is always suppressed, praised, and that child cannot understand how to behave and how to speak and how to love, or how to communicate with parents. That is the main point. Means we cannot understand the psychology of those children. That is the main point which I want to tell you here. Then we care that child very much. We say, "Oh, my son, don't go into the darkness. If you go into the darkness, there will be the ghost." When we say like this to this child, then that child creates the fear in the mind that there is the ghost in the darkness, and that's why the child does not go into the darkness. And when that child goes into the darkness, that child makes the fear, and that fear enters into the mind of that child, and that child becomes very much fearful, and then we cannot make out that fear from the mind of that child. Means we made that child the thinker of the supernaturalism. Remember, actually, when that child came upon the earth, that was not the child of the supernaturalism, but we put that thing into his mind, and now that child has become the mind of the supernaturalism. That is the point, and that's why this is also the important point that we say, "Oh, don't go into the darkness. There will be the ghost." And in this way, in the mind of the child, the things of natural supernaturalism, then ghost is there. Means that child is habituated to supernaturalism. Then that child easily um, goes into the matters of addiction. Then remember, there are many friends around him or her, and that's why this confused child goes into the addiction, then goes into the lying. Always this child speaks lies, talks lies, always lies. Then all, and when they do like this is only the bad culture. Means in this way, to create the bad culture in the mind of the child, remember, we are responsible. Means we created such atmosphere in front of the child, and that's why the child became like this. Remember, then when the child does all this in the society, we people, means we parents, appreciate the qualities of the child, and that's why what happens, that child knows that this is the life. Means the child knows that what that child is doing is the life, and in this way, again, that child gets the support of our behavior, of our appreciation, of our phrase, and this appreciation also makes the bad effect on the character of the child or children. Now remember, this child becomes young, and when that child becomes young, that child is completely the child is completely of the opinion which we like, which we know. which we want to bring into practice. And that's why here the praise and appreciation, all these things become the life of this child, or I will say the boy. And now the boy and the girl behave with each other like this. They do not talk true things with their parents. They do not behave properly with the parents. What they do outside, they do not tell parents. All this happens with the parents, and that's why now the question comes in the mind that the parents have given this behavior to the children, because the child means, now I told you that the child becomes young, and that's why he or she means the girl or the boy follows, both follow the principles of the parents. And then how the parents behave, the same way the I will say the sons and daughters behave. And this thing is really the bad thing on the part of that family. And afterwards what happened, I will tell you. These parents complain before other people. When they complain about their children or about their sons and daughters in front of other people, this thing is not, I will say, a proper thing, because the parents are responsible for making their children or sons and daughters like this. That is my point. Then when these children become young in the adulthood, they do same as parents have said. Remember, they means the sons and daughters do the same things which their parents have said them. And then the parents understand that, oh my God, what this girl is doing and what this boy is doing, or sons and daughters are doing. Then they open their eyes, and then they know that the behavior which they are doing is a wrong behavior. But actually it is not the wrong behavior. It is the same behavior which the parents have given them. That is the important point which I want to tell you. Now the parents complain that their sons and daughters don't listen to them. Remember, I told you that the child comes from the God, and that is the new slate, that is the empty slate. There is nothing written and spoken on that slate, and the parents have given the written and spoken to the child. Now that child has become adult, and now the parents are making complaint about their sons and daughters, that their sons and daughters are not listening to them. This is the point. Now remember, now the parents have understood that their children, their sons and daughters, are not listening to them. That is the point which now the parents have understood. But when they were very small, when they were children, these parents do not give them the behavior, rather positively, or rather best behavior which will be useful when they will be young. That is the main point I will discuss. That's why here now I want to tell you that the man should make the introspection. Remember, introspection. Introspection means what? Man should think what he did actually. His sons and daughters are doing the same thing. They are living now, parents are living. This is the situation that the parents are here in the villages, and their sons and daughters are there in the metropolitan cities. They are very much rich, but the parents are also, some parents are begging outside. That is the situation. So this situation has happened, or this situation has been created by the parents only, I will tell you. Because the thing which was there in the hands of the parents, the same thing has not been given to the children, and that's why this has happened according to the I will say, according to the reason of the, I will say, of my soul, or this is the reason of God. I will tell you. God means what? Because man has the soul, and if soul is telling all this, then it is the reason of God. It is the reason of soul, and that's why I want to tell you all this. So the question comes in the mind: who made them like this? Now the parents are complaining that their sons and daughters are not listening to them. So who made them like this? So the answer comes that the parents have made them like this. Now there is no solution. The sons and daughters do not listen because they have become now young. They are very happy with their lives, because their wives are there, their husbands are there, and there they have set now their own families. They have established themselves in the metropolitan cities, in the big cities. They have established themselves, and this thing has become very much dangerous for the parents. And in the villages, these parents are crying, shouting, weeping, but the children are not supporting them. That is the point. Because once the child was empty minded, a new slate, but now the same boy and the same girl have become very much difficult for the parents, and those parents are now very old, and the children are not supporting them. That is the new point which has come before us, or this is the new culture of this generation is there now in front of us. That is the important point which I want to tell you. What happens, there is the property. For the property, these people change the sons and daughters. They, uh, they what they did, they turn the children as per their own thinking. And now those sons and daughters, or those children now are dividing the estate among them, and the estate of the parents, the estate of the family is now divided, and the parents are now alone in the rooms. That is the situation which is there, and this is happening, I will say, because of the parents, because the parents have not given the proper culture to the sons and daughters. That is the main point according to me. Parents are responsible for this thing. So here Saint Ramdasa, I will discuss one thing here. Saint Ramdasa has told here that we should think ourselves, we should see ourselves what we are doing. We are doing good or bad. When we are doing everything, we should always think of the particular thing, if it is useful or if it is not useful. We should think like this. But nobody thinks like this, and they I will say, they flow themselves in the matter, and they do not think of all these things, and they create problems, and that's why there is no education of saint is useful for these people, or they do not read the literature of saints, or they do not bring that literature into practice. These are the points which here are in front of us, or which are created here before us. That is the point. Now man has understood all his mistakes. There are many books. When that parents read those books, they know that these mistakes are of theirs only, and they have created these mistakes with their children. That is the point. But now there is no solution. So I want to say you that now you have understood what this is happening. So please share this video among your friends, that this situation of the children is happening only because of the parents. So please share this video. And I want to tell you the last message, means I am not the person who will give you the message, but there is the message, and that message is that always behave with the children with positivity. Don't tell them about the negativity. Give them freedom, but that freedom should be with spirituality. Give them the knowledge of saint education. Send them to the satsangas, I will say, or send them to the particular saints education. That is the point. Saint literature be taught to them, means we should make the arrangement to give them the saint education. And always tell them reality. Don't put your sons and daughters into the imagination, or don't put them into the things which are strange. Don't give them strange behavior. Give them always the actual behavior. When they will think of the actuality, then they will understand the real life, and society thus will bloom. Remember, if this will happen, then the society will bloom, means life of the man will be very much progressive if man is giving good treatment to the uh, children when they are new slate, when they are in the form of the new slate. So today I told you about the children and family, or about the parents and the children. How you felt this video, please tell me in the comment box. Till then I stop here. Thank you very much.